Howdy do everyone, my name is Angie, and thank you for joining me on another Monday book club. For anyone that's new to these streams, hold on, my music's too loud. For anyone that's new to these streams, these are like very chill on my channel. It's just me reading a visual novel and we talk to one another. You can ask me questions or whatever during the stream. It's just a fun little get together that we do. On other news, I'm kind of sick today. It's allergies mostly, but man, my throat is clogged, so if I sound more nasally than I usually do, or, if I start hacking up a storm, you guys know why. Something about the CG makes Cove look like he's about to yandere snap. Yeah, that's why I chose it in the first place. I saw it and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Also, I know what we're going to be doing in this moment, so... We're almost done with this whole thing. It's weird. Do fish get allergies? Well, I'm a fish in a human body, so I guess I suffer from the same conditions that humans do now. Joy. So, yeah, we're almost done now. We basically just have this moment and the epilogue for step 3. And then everything after is just going to be DLC or more epilogues. It's hard to believe we're almost done with this. This is the longest running series on my channel, and this was the first stream I ever did. So it's weird to think that we're almost done now, but I have more plans after this. I know what we'll do for book club after. Hello, how are you today? By the way, I'm here to see my cute boyfriend Cove. You'll get to see him. I'm doing good today, Okapi. Welcome in. Welcome in everyone else too. All right. I'll start reading now. The day and the week were nearing their end, and you are welcoming it in your own way. By lying sprawled out on your bed. Yeah, that's about right. I feel a little called out on that one. It was quiet in your house, getting to that time of the night where you really should be sleeping, but you didn't feel tired at all. You rolled onto your side. Outside... Whoa, what just happened? Not you guys. I don't think any of you could have seen that. My computer just did something weird there. Did the background just auto-change? That was weird. This is a new computer. Sorry. I said in the last stream that we're going through some growing pains on this computer. Yeah, I'm still discovering new things about it. Apparently, the background auto-changes. Ghost. Yeah, or a ghost went in and changed it. I don't know, that freaked me out. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, yeah. Also, by the way, my cat is sleeping behind me, so if you hear him at all during the stream, that's what you hear. Alright. You rolled onto your side. Outside, the last lit-up window across the street blinked out, leaving the buildings on the block faceless silhouettes against a blue-black sky dotted by stars. Your phone came to life on the nightstand, a pale light cast on the ceiling of your room. Without looking, you threw your arm out behind yourself, groping around on the tabletop until your phone was under your palm. At that point, you lifted it to your face. Snorting once, you saw the familiar name attached to the short message just reading, "Hey." Cove wasn't much for sleeping now either. As you made to reply, though, more and more texts came through in quick succession. Hey. You doing things? You like doing things with me? You like doing things? You like doing things with me? Hey, how you doing? I'm just gonna text this to one of my friends randomly. I mean, what I'm saying is that there are things you and I do and we like. This is such a way to flirt. Together at the same time. Now that was eyebrow raising. You propped yourself up on one elbow, sitting upright against the headboard so you could text more comfortably. Oh, there are a lot of options here. All right. God, why does Cove text like me? That's funny to think about. All right, other thing to know about these streams, for anyone new that's here, is that whoever types in first is what we go with. So that's the answer choice we go with. I also will just end up picking things myself if I don't see anything. So just letting you guys know. All right, let's see. Yeah, we've got it all figured out. Dang, you suck at texting. He sucks at texting. Yeah, that's a funny one. The typing indicator dropped off and a notable pause followed. You took the chance to prod him further. But the best way to fix that is to practice. You can keep sending your nonsense messages. God, we're so harsh. It wasn't hard to imagine Cove red-faced and hunched over his phone in the dark, eyebrows furrowed as he tried to think of how to respond to your teasing. But ultimately, he didn't even attempt to address it. For what I was saying... You're free for a while, right? I mean, it's night currently, isn't it? He's just texting us in the middle of the night. When's your next shift? Not for a while, I think? Cool, I thought so. I was just making sure. Alright. You could almost hear Cove's intake of breath as he prepared for the next part, despite the conversation being text alone. The window of your messaging app might as well have been a screenshot. You were left to keep track of the passing seconds, with the rising and falling cries of crickets outside. He obviously wants to have a sleepover again. No sleepover. This is a pure stream. Any sleepovers that happen are innocent and pure and nothing else. When your screen darkened from inactivity, you wondered if you should do something yourself. I suppose we could give a nudge. You're struggling with what to write, huh? His phones couldn't handle anything else anyways. You know, he looks so crazy on the screen because you guys keep bullying him. You guys keep bullying him like this, and that's why he looks like he's snapped. Oh no, he's typing like me now. We're so good at making him feel good about his wrist. Oh man, we have two types of people in chat. We have the Cove defenders or the Cove bulliers. And so like every new person just has to pick their side, I guess. But I love teasing people naturally, so. I lovingly tease. Mindful of everyone else asleep in your house, you did all you could to stifle your laughter. Keep going. You can be in my state or you can be wrong. And so Space, as you can see, is not a defender. I'm trying. The next message came almost instantaneously. What if we did something new, or sort of unexpected? Would you be okay with that? Something we haven't ever done together? You lowered your phone, leaning back against the headboard as you thought it over. The streets outside your window looked different at night, but you knew that if you were to wander out, there would be no chance of you losing your way. There wasn't a single inch of your neighborhood that you didn't know by heart. And everywhere you looked, from the grassy hill behind your house to the shops by the beach, you could recall a time you'd been there with Cove, mostly just chatting as you walked together. What if we tried to run away from town on foot to visit my mom? Not like we haven't tried that already. You didn't mind everyday things like that, but as far as something new or unexpected... I mean, I love doing new and unexpected things, so I'd probably say I'd love that. But, Cove would never make it. Oh my gosh, poor Cove. You guys are being brutal today. Let's see. What's gotten into Cove Holden to want to do something brand new? That is a funny response. But it's not, like, ultra funny. So, what do you have in mind? Some things. Gonna be vague about it, huh? One by one, Cove began presenting his ideas, starting off with attending a play. We've watched TV together and movies, but real people performing in front of us. We've never done that. I'm not sure what plays exactly are on right now, but that adds to the unexpected factor. There was a slight pause before Cove moved on to the next plan, visiting an aquarium. My favorites! That makes sense, right? We go to the beach and stuff. We're pretty close to the water. I love how we're not seeing the text come in for that. It's just, you know, we just assume that he's already told us we're gonna go to the aquarium, right? But going to the aquarium would be water in a whole new way. The third and last idea was the one that was the most out of the blue. Ice skating! Yeah, that is pretty out of the blue for him. Ice skating? It was a total wild card, as Cove was putting it, and the polar opposite of what the two of you normally did. However, it was fitting right in with the other options as something you had never done together. Let's say if hypothetically someone wanted to surprise you with an unexpected outing. Would that be okay? Did you want to go on an unexpected outing, Cove? Were you wanting to go on an unexpected outing? You can still hold goldfish, it'll be great. I'll just steal one of his fish, it's fine. The one he named after us, I'll steal that one. What did we name that fish? I completely forgot. It was Dennis or something, right? Or is that just Space's default name? I can't remember. Ice skating. You want to go ice skating, Momster? What could happen? Cove might fall. Oh no, he'll break another bone. You couldn't help but smile fondly at that, wondering to yourself who that someone could be. You joked it wasn't much of a surprise, because let's be honest here. Specifically into a hole in the ice. Oh no! Cove, I think I know where this is going. Though you were giving him a hard time, you understood his apprehension in making this an actual surprise. Come on, really? Which is your favorite? It's obvious. It's so obvious what my favorite is. Like, it's... like, come on! I'm a fucking fish! It's the aquarium! Ice skating. You're too late, Momster! You're too late! You had heard that in recent years, the aquarium had been making efforts towards conservation programs. It seemed like a perfect, obvious fit for Cove. Alright, cool. Don't think too hard about this talk. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, yeah. I sure hope it means something. Don't tempt me with the promise of an aquarium visit, man. Sorry. Good night, Rain. It's really late now. Yeah, it is. Good night. And with the final send-off, you put your phone to sleep and lowered it with a sigh. You had no idea when Cove was going to invite you to the aquarium, but your mind was buzzing with all the possibilities the coming days might bring. Your phone went back to its place on the nightstand, and you resumed snuggling into the mattress, one hand thrown to the side and the other shoved under your pillow. Somewhere between this day and the next, you found yourself asleep. The next morning, after washing up for breakfast, you had just climbed the stairs to your room, ready to tackle the day, when you heard the ringing of a doorbell. Momster, you can roll around the aquarium on your ice skates and just scratch the ground. But it's whatever. Yeah, you can totally do that. It's definitely possible. Boy, fish are boring. Well, you take that back. You take that. Hold on here. What did you just say to me? What did you just say about fish? Fish are boring? Is that what you just said? Do you want to take that back now before I hover over the ban button? You take that back. You take that back this instant. I'm gonna go back to reading and pretend I didn't see that, but you've been warned, momster. You read me right, that's it. How dare you? How dare you come into my chat? I'm here to see my cute boyfriend Cove and to say How to Train Your Dragon references. Go for it. The next morning after washing up for breakfast, did I already read this? I'll say I did. You turn towards the sound, angling your head in confusion. Was someone expecting a visitor today? I'm still not over the fish comment. Oh, just sending me a smug little cat emoji? I'm sorry. Hey, Space, I don't see you doing your job right now, mod. Hey. Then again, you weren't even, I need to calm down. I can't read because, like, you guys are sending me, specifically Momster. You know what you did. Okay, back to reading. I'm done being stupid for a little bit. That's not true. Anyways. Then again, you weren't even sure if anyone else was around, judging by the lack of footsteps you were hearing. You raced back downstairs to answer the door. As you pulled it open and saw who it was, you were only further confused. Cove? He was standing there with an unsure look on his face at first, like he didn't know who would answer the door, but the moment he saw it was you, a shy grin spread across his face. He raised one hand and gave you a little wave. Surprise. Is this a surprise? Don't you normally use the window? Oh no. Oh, that's a funny response. That's good. You found it funny how you had grown so used to hearing him tapping that glass pane that showing up at your front door was what it took to get a reaction. Oh boy, maybe you can go see fish at the aquarium. I will see fish at the aquarium, and it will be a good time. Cove turned his head to the side with a considering lift of his eyebrows. I guess I do, but not today. I got you something. He slid his hand out from behind his back, holding it up in front of your face as he offered the present to you. Your eyes widened once you saw what it was. A mixed pack of new art supplies. You hadn't expected a gift at all, let alone something as thoughtful as this. Taking one look at your face, no doubt a complicated mix of happiness and shock, Cove let out a laugh. Yeah, if he got me a new sketchbook, I would jump into his arms immediately. I always love new sketchbooks. It's the fastest way to my heart. Surprise again. It really is. Suddenly, Cove raised his head, his eyes finding yours and startling you into stillness. Those paints better not be mixed. Hey, Tarnished, welcome in. Cove's question came softly, his voice lingering on some words as his shyness got the better of him. Rain, would you like to go on a date with me today? I was thinking maybe we could go to the aquarium. Oh, what a surprise. Yes, I'd love to go. You're playing Terraria? That seems like a fun game. It's on my list eventually of ones to play. He inclined his head at you with a crooked smile. I had a feeling that might be a nice place to invite you. Absolutely, yes, 1000%, absolutely. Okay, chat cut off again. 1 second. Time to get a seizure from a stingray? Because we're just that cool, yeah. Alright. Let's see. Yes. My very calm reaction of, yes. Alright. Cove huffed a sigh of relief, his lips spreading in a wide, cheery smile. Did he think I'd reject him? We're dating. All right, we're gonna do it. With his big question asked and accepted, Cove raised the gift towards you again, gesturing with his other hand for you to receive it officially. You carefully took it from him. I want to put this somewhere safe. Then we can go. Is that okay? Cove had no problems with that. Still grinning, he stepped back, his body angling away as he waved a hand in the air. I'll get my car ready then. Meet me there. Okay. As soon as the door clicked shut, you dashed upstairs to your room, prepping a spot first for Cove's gift. Then, satisfied with your efforts, you grabbed your bag, tossing in whatever else you thought you'd need for the outing before heading back outside. Bro, I spent like 4 hours trying to get the small stones that sets enemies on fire? What? Now I got 3 on the span of 30 minutes. Wow! Cove's old car was parked right in front of your house. You went straight to it, hopping in the shotgun seat. As you buckled yourself in, Cove leaned forward to watch you with an eager expression, his fingers tapping on the dashboard to a lively sort of rhythm. He was ready to start, but trying to tone it down so you wouldn't feel rushed. Little impatient, are we? I'm glad we're doing this together. Me too. Once your seatbelt was secured, Cove checked his mirrors to make sure the street was clear before pulling away from the curb, and like that, the two of you began your trip. What you and everyone thinks about our life in the How to Train Your Dragon universe? I think it's cute. You don't need any more of those rocks. Getting too many of them now. You settled in fully for the trip out to the aquarium in the city. It would be a bit of a drive, but you didn't mind. You made an attempt to start a conversation. I was about to say that we made an attempt to stare at him, and I was just about to be creepy like that, I suppose. Why you think it's cute? Because I think How to Train Your Dragon is cute, and this game is cute, so a combined universe would be very cute. Also, I can imagine Cove getting like scared of it at first, and then continually going back to it. Just a very cute idea. It's kind of funny we've never done this before now. Why haven't we? Probably because I've never thought about going to the aquarium with anyone before this. Really? You've never gone to the aquarium before? Yep, that's right. Never. And not just the specific one either. I haven't been to an aquarium, period. That's hard to imagine with Cove, since he's so obsessed with the ocean and everything. Wow. Yeah, it's not brand new for me. I've been to the aquarium too many times. You had more experience with aquariums than Cove Holden. That simply sounded wrong. Do you not actually like them? Cove tapped the tips of his fingers against the steering wheel, his face scrunching in contemplation. When I was growing up, my dad did try to take me. I'd never been before because I was so little. I said no. Whenever he tried to talk about it, I'd tell my dad I'd rather go to the actual beach on my own. Or he could at least take me to the fish part of the pet store, but not the aquarium. Eventually, he didn't ask about it anymore. He must have figured I had something against it. No aquarium, no happy childhood. What have we become? I demand all children go to the aquarium. Exactly! All children must go to the aquarium. It is required by law. My law. Suncloud, Cove's Night Fury will appear, but he doesn't want to be seen by other humans except for Cove, his human friend. Yeah, that makes sense. When he stopped mentioning the aquarium, I stopped thinking about it. It just never came back to my mind. His expression shifted to one of bemused confusion. The thing is, I don't know what I had against it, if I did have a problem. Maybe I didn't like the idea of seeing water I wasn't allowed to go in, or to meet fish I could never bring home. That sounds like the kind of thing little me might have gotten upset over. Or maybe I just wasn't okay with doing a new kind of trip. It'd be someplace new with only my dad. Mom wouldn't be there anymore. I guess that might have made it seem like, wow, I can't read. Let's see. Is he comparing the fish pet store to an aquarium? Yes, it does seem like that. Yes, he is. It's terrifying. Yep. You've never been to the aquarium? They're a lot of fun. I highly recommend going to an aquarium. Not just because I'm a fish. I've always loved going to the aquarium. Every time I go to a new town, I always try to see if they have an aquarium so I can go. You should play Terraria? I want to. It's been on my list for a while. I guess that might have made it seem not worth doing right off the bat. That's 8-year-old me for you. Cove shook his head with a pained smile, then his tone dropped to a distant whisper. It was only when thinking about stuff I could do with you that I finally remembered I could go to the aquarium. Oh. He pulled his mouth into a bent smile and straightened his shoulders. He didn't want to bring the mood down. It all worked out in the end, because I got to really surprise you with the news, huh? I mean, when you text beforehand, is it really a surprise? Okay, what are our options? I'm flattered you're letting me be there for your first time at the aquarium. I like that one. Gonna go take my fish to the bathroom. Wait. Okay, let's see. You're adorable. Probably this one. This one sounds the funniest. See, the thing about my luck is that I don't understand it. I think that's everyone's luck. I can't understand my luck at all, ever. I play enough gacha games. You know, my luck fluctuates all the time, and I just can never tell where it's gonna go. You're welcome. The conversation continued on with idle chatter about what you'd do when you got there. Then the large angular building decorated with ocean-themed cutouts came into view. You arrived at your destination. Oh, sorry, Momster. I didn't get to it in time. I didn't see your comment in time. You hopped out of the car and headed over to the imposingly large guest entranceway. Cove's head swiveled around to let his curious eyes take in every view, and you weren't even inside yet. You could see the realization of what he'd been missing out on dawn on him in real time. Yep. Give me a stone that does you know what. Give me a 0.2 drop. A 0.2 drop, yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Also, yeah, Cove, you've been missing out way too much. Cove bounced on the balls of his feet as the two of you stood in line to get tickets. His excitement continued to build. When you finally were face to face with the tanks, you could hear Cove quietly gasp from your side. Better love story than Twilight. Seeing as how we can customize this one completely, I'm gonna say absolutely yes. Happened to you a few moments ago, I see. Yeah, luck is weird like that. He briskly took some large strides to get further into the room and to get closer to the glass barrier. Then he stood still. After taking a moment for himself, he whipped around to look at you. Cove was outright vibrating with excitement. Hey, look, it's my thumbnail. It's the one that Space said looked like he was gonna be a crazy yandere. His mouth opened in a large smile, but all that came out was a tiny squeaking giggles. It bubbled over into full-on giddy laughter before he was able to speak in earnest. Each word was full of joy. Yes, I also do the same thing every time I go into an aquarium. This is just the natural reaction when you see a fish, right? Obviously. Cove does sort of sparkle. I can see it now. All this time. Oh, man. It's amazing. I love it here. I love it too. I love it too, man. This place is the best it could possibly ever be. You can go together into the water and just together at the bottom of the ocean forever. Well, that one's sending me. Of course we missed you. Of course. Oh, cool. Here I am gathering the souls of the damned. What is happening on your screen? I love playing these cute visual novels, and I just look down and see like, ah, yes, I'm gathering the stones of the damned. All right, let's continue on. I love it too. It's the aquarium. Of course I'm going to freaking love it. It's the aquarium. He cheered back without hesitation. Yeah, the aquarium is great. The two of you wasted no time before rushing around the place. You went every which way across the aquarium. Cove was enthralled by each new sight. His eyes alight like a kid in a candy store, and a perpetual smile made its home on his face. No metaphorical stone was left unturned. He viewed all the tanks from the tallest of heights, on tippy toes, as well as crouching as low to the floor as he could manage. Your exuberance was just as bright as his. Buoyed further by how happy you were that he finally found such happiness, you beamed. After making an entire trip through the whole building, you and Cove finally slowed the pace down. You had arrived back at the original viewing room. It was a good spot for a break. Cove stood quietly near the tank, almost the same spot he had when he first took in the view. Somehow the moment already felt like a long time ago. Just wait until you see the final boss. Is your cousin, but cut in half and blue? What? What? Want to go to the aquarium now? Yes? Yes, I do. I do want to go to the aquarium right now. Are we singing in chat again? This isn't the first time we had song numbers in chat. Ah, Cthulhu. I see. Makes sense. Is Cthulhu my cousin now? Just making sure I have my lore right. No spoilers on the aquarium visit. Oh my god, we're gonna see Cthulhu on the end of this date. Cove stood quietly near the tank, in almost the same spot he had. I've read this already. You weren't sure if he was feeling the same way. Cove simply watched the watery world inside with open fondness. He wouldn't get tired of that view, ever. You were certain of that. You walked up to stand by him, taking in the same otherworldly experience of having a sea right in front of you. Suddenly, Cove swallowed hard. Your head tilted. He wasn't looking at you. His eyes were glued to the vast ocean view in front of him. But his bright red face reflected clearly in the floor-to-ceiling glass plane, separating aquarium goers from the water. You couldn't understand. Nothing had happened. Then realization came. This was Cove. He was flustered because he was thinking about doing something. Yeah, that's about right. Since the beginning, Angie. I see. Cove always got that way when he was mentally building himself up. You immediately averted your gaze, as though you might be caught watching something you weren't supposed to see. You would simply let Cove have a moment. Hopefully, he'd be ready to talk again soon, you thought. Is he a secret fish? He looks fishy. I wouldn't be surprised. Cove is a merman for real. No, he already said in his thing earlier that he wished he was a merman. Like, he's most upset that he can't be one. Maybe he'll propose? Not yet! Huh. So there's a lot of fish in here, huh? Yeah, you don't say. Yeah? His mouth clamped shut after those vague, stuttered words. You could feel a tension growing. After a breathless pause, he spoke again. You know, if you were a fish, you'd be... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Is he trying a pickup line? He's giving you the plenty of fish in the sea speech. Oh no! He can't break up with us. I'll restart the game if he tries. No, my bet's on pickup line. My bet's on pickup line. Cheesy pickup line. A paradise fish. Because being with you is like being in paradise. Oh. Oh. If Cove were a fish, he'd be a clownfish. That was really bad. Yeah. I just want to say, and this is probably just a YouTube glitch because it's not matching up my chat to viewers, but like looking on YouTube, it said like right after I said Cove's line, I lost like 4 viewers. The cringe was so bad, but that's also not true because I'm looking on my streaming software and it says that everyone is still here. I want to eat your miso soup every day. Ah, the classic Japanese proposal. He is trying his best. Leave him alone. We're still here. We're still here. Cove pressed his forehead against the glass with his eyes wide and gazed down as he fervently refused to even peek at what reaction you might be giving. He was blushing wildly, feeling unparalleled embarrassment over the line he just dropped. Oh no. Oh no, Cove. You have to say these kinds of things with absolute confidence. Don't be embarrassed afterwards. You're just going to make everyone else embarrassed with you. Okay. We're gonna be embarrassed with him. Actually, we're gonna be embarrassed with him. He should be embarrassed. Don't make fun of him like this. Not like this. You thought it might be good that it was something of a rare occasion for Cove to be that direct. It was a lot for you. Oh, can we make our own? You had plenty of fish knowledge up your sleeve for this too? Ah! This is perfect. Well, if you were a fish, you'd be a... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Space predicted it. Space predicted it way in advance. Although, teardrop butterfly fish because you cry a lot is absolutely hilarious too. That is really funny. Never thought about asking you, Angie, what is your favorite food? Well, when I was in the ocean, I didn't really have a favorite food because everything was just eat to survive. I never really thought about it. But now that I'm out of the ocean and have tried a lot of things, I really like mapo tofu. It's spicy and feels like it's fighting back with me, and I kind of like that. But I also like sushi a whole lot. Like, a lot of different types of sushi. What's unagi sushi is really good. And inari sushi is one of my favorites. I eat it quite a bit. All right. Well, Space already yelled out this one, so clownfish it is. Cove's head hung low in complete defeat. He mumbled shamefully, "No!" Quick, impress him with fish pecks. We're trying. Well, no, we didn't really try. We just immediately insulted him. never mind any of that. Obviously, you're my Rosie bar. You snickered at the small fuss. He really was a clownfish. That was good. That was good. I liked that. After that, Cove wanted to go around the aquarium again. He hoped to let it all sink in at a more leisurely pace while you were here. He's not stopping. Nope. Plus, he desperately wanted more time to settle down after his latest big attempt at flirting. The two of you began your second loop around the paths. It took no time at all to become absorbed in the incredible sea life once more. As you walked, Cove stole a quick look at you, after only having eyes for the fish for quite some time. Hey, would it be alright to ask why you chose this place? What made it the favorite out of everything? I've said it before, man. I'm a freaking fish! Of course I'm gonna choose the aquarium! I'm a fish! It doesn't matter why. I'm just curious. Fish! I'm a fish! I don't have that option. I like the aquarium. I like the aquarium. They're good. They're fun. I like fish. Oh, cool. You could tell Cove was feeling pretty pleased with himself by the way his eyebrows rose and his smile curved. One of his suggestions was something you wanted to do regardless, and he was considering that a success. There wasn't nearly enough time in a single day to satisfy Cove's desire to exist inside the aquarium, but the day did have to end eventually. Despite obviously wanting to linger longer, Cove left the building with a skip in his step. It had been a good trip. The two of you shut the doors of Cove's car behind you as you took your usual seats. I don't know why I suddenly said unusual in there. You took your usual seats. The clicking of seatbelts punctuated the end of the adventure. Is there a You're My Little PogChamp option? Oh man, if only. Angie, would you consider an aquarium to be an all-you-can-eat buffet or fish jail? That depends on how you look at it. It's, they're, like, protecting the fish and all of that. So, like, it's not really all-you-can-eat, it's not really a jail, it's, like, protecting them in sorts. It's kind of a jail, they can never leave and they're stuck in the same place forever, and they're never getting out, ever. But it's fine, it's fine! Gilded cage, all that, you know. Cove is definitely a fish who would lose his memory before turning into an emo boy. No space, I guess you could say it's a fish battle royale. That too, that's a good one. Alright. I would absolutely do that again. No kidding. Cove chuckled as you pulled the car out of the parking spot, spirits still as high as ever. A ways into the drive, Cove glanced towards your direction. You stretched your arms as you shifted in your seat, waiting patiently for him to say what was on his mind. So, I know that was unexpected, but thanks for coming again. It was fun, but the worst attempt at a surprise ever, because you texted me about it beforehand, like the day before. Let's see. Yeah, I am choosing that one. Cove snorted and you both burst into laughter. You watched him with a wide grin. Yeah, you can't blame me for wanting to make sure you would at least like my surprise. I can't. I'm glad it happened the way it did. The drive continued in comfortable silence. Cove wore a content expression on his face that warmed your heart. Did you know octopi are known to leave their tank, eat fish, then go back to their tank? And it is believed they can have nightmares. Yeah, octopi are, like, really intelligent. It's really cool if you, like, watch videos of them where they can, like, get in jars and, like, find their way out of them and unscrew them and stuff. And, like, I've seen videos where they grab onto their handlers and things. They're cool. Octopi are cool. They're a little scary. You know, being a fish, they're a little scary, but they are really awesome. Another thing that's like super scary, but like also awesome are jellyfish. I love jellyfish. They're so pretty. Have you ever seen a firework jellyfish? You guys should look that up. They're really pretty. All right. I will read again. The drive continued in comfortable silence. Cove wore a content expression on his face that warmed your heart. Doing things like this with Cove, he made you happy. Your heart skipped a beat thinking about how mutual the feelings seemed to be. Nightmare creatures. I mean, seconded very pretty. Yep. But how does a creature become like that? As the gelatinous kind of form that they become, head empty, look pretty, sting whatever. They're very, very beautiful creatures, but yeah, terrifying. I remember when I was little, I went on a trip to the ocean, and we were doing snorkeling, and how to explain it? I was really young when this happened, and like, no, I didn't get stung by a jellyfish or anything. That's not where the story is going. But we were in the water, and apparently a jellyfish had like died or something, and like its parts got kind of scattered, and so like we kept feeling like this sting in the water, like it felt like these sharp pinches, and we couldn't figure out what it was, and we got out, and like it was like everyone that went snorkeling just like had these it was just stung by these like small little jellyfish tentacles. Yeah, firework jellyfish. They're really pretty. I love looking at them. Even more mind-boggling is what's it called? The manivore? Oh yeah, manivores. Those used to wash up on the beach. I mean, they still do, but from what I remember of them, I've never gotten stung by them, but like you'd see those little bags, those bag things in the water. You knew what they were. Let's see. I was stung by a jellyfish 4 times in my life. Oh man, I'm sorry. Third one was on the same place as the first. Oh man. Jellyfish hate me. Yeah, they seem to hate just certain types of people. For head empty, head empty creatures as they are. Yeah, man, jellyfish are wild. Manivores are wild too. I remember stepping on a jellyfish as a kid. Ow! Ow, that hurts. That hurts to think about. Alright. They look so innocent. They do. They're so pretty. You just want to touch them. At an aquarium I went to at one point, they had a touch a jellyfish exhibit, so I got to touch the top of a jellyfish. They would like time it so like you would just touch the top of it. So like not actually like, get stung by a jellyfish or anything. Yeah. They're soft on the top. They're soft and smooth. All right. I will continue. Watching the passing scenery out the window, you relaxed into the seat. The time sped by. It wasn't too long before Cove pulled into his driveway. Sighing happily, you got out of the car while Cove came around to where you were standing. He stood there a moment, rolling a pebble under his shoe. I'll see you tomorrow? Yeah. Thanks for saying that for me. After that, you and Cove parted ways to the rest of the day. Even when you fell back into your normal routine, your mind refused to stop buzzing with the memory of your little adventure. As you crawled into bed and closed your eyes, you were back in the best parts of today. You hoped Cove's surprise would continue just a little bit longer and continued in your dreams. If you played Terraria, you'd probably take at least 5 streams just to get to the hard mode, and another 10 to finish the game. Doesn't surprise me. That seems to be my track record, or I go extra long in a game. Still thinking about manivores, still thinking about how they're basically the Voltron of the sea creatures. Yep, manivores are crazy, man. They just look like these plastic bags when you see them, like, on the water, and then they're these long, dangerous, tentacled creature of destruction. Hello, I'm back from my dinner. Hope you had a good meal. Welcome back, Okapi. Alright. After breakfast the next morning, you were sitting with your moms and Liz. While you were mildly listening to the conversation, the side of your face squished in the palm of your hand, the doorbell rang.
Oh.
Oh, I'll get it. Mom passed by you to the front door. Your eyes lazily followed her, then you turned your attention to Ma and Liz. They were still lightheartedly chatting. You weren't sure about what. Your focus snapped back when your name was called from across the room. Hey, Rain, you have a guest. On your way to the front door, Mom gave your shoulder a pat as she returned to the living room. When she moved by, you saw who was at the door. Creatures plural. Yep, they are. Like, they are a bunch of organisms mashed into one. It's a lot of little guys in a trench coat. Basically. Oh, man. No, I understand you. I understand you perfectly. I know Man of Wars. I mean, listen. The ocean is insane. Have you seen the bottom of it? It's crazy what kind of things are there. Well, get stung by a jellyfish exhibit. Yeah. It wasn't that. All right. It was Cove again. A smile stretched out across his face the moment your eyes met. Hi, Cove, sweetie. Instantly, you looked over your shoulder to see Ma several feet away, but within eyeshot of the door, she waved. When you faced Cove again, he was looking at the ground shyly. It reminded you of the last time you had seen him the night before. That was all the push you needed to step outside, closing the door behind you for some privacy. Let's see. You coming all the way to my door this time is... You coming to my door all the time is starting to get weird, man. It's like you're my boyfriend or something. You realize how ridiculous that sounds, right? Yeah, I know. That doesn't stop it from being true, and you're the one who made reasonable actions unheard of. Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile and he shrugged. Then Cove chuckled awkwardly. He didn't quite meet your eyes as he pulled out another gift from behind his back. Surprise! Wanna go ice skating with me? Hey, Momster! You get your trip to the ice skating rink! Let's see. How will Sunset, Bird, people will react if there were night furies flying in the sky? I mean, if it's How to Train Your Dragon universe, are dragons normalized in society already, or are they still ostracized? Because I think, like, you need to think about that when doing this. Because if they're normalized, I think, it'd be a pretty normal reaction. But if this is like a they didn't know dragons existed kind of thing, then, like, yeah, I think a panicked reaction would be pretty normal. Let's see. Been farming souls and killing mimics. Mimics. Yeah, Cove, we don't want to see you unless you're scrambling up the facade to bang on the window. And even then, you're on thin ice. Oh my god. About time we did something new. Yep, we're going to the ice skating rink. Also, fish are awesome. They're great. Okay? You know the meaning of insanity. Yes. Doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Yes. Okay. Let's do something new. Ice skating. Type in the chat, are you good at ice skating? Let me know. Have you been before? Do you like it? What? You blinked and then switched to staring at him in bewilderment. Cove's eyes narrowed conspiratorially. I can't speak. I'm gonna drink water for a second. Okay. That's not insanity, that's good scientific method is sending me. That's good. The real surprise was that I'm gonna invite you to all 3 places. You never had to choose only one. I just needed to make sure that they didn't sound completely terrible. The longer Cove spoke, the quieter his voice became. He shyly scratched at the side of his cheek. And to check if you'd be free. So, surprise again. That is cute. That's really adorable, actually. Let's see. In our life, How to Train Your Dragon universe, the Night Furies are common in their place, and they are considered a treasure for that city. Oh, then they probably think it was really cool. You run this experiment multiple times to make sure the results match. That is true. That is very true. It will just increase critical chance by 5%. I see. Okay. You're sweet. Thanks. His face grew red with a blush. Shyly, Cove looked away from you. Oh, do you like what I got you? Cove nudged the present in his hands towards you, hoping that you'd take it. Until now, you hadn't completely registered it. It was a carefully chosen telescope lens. Aw, that's sweet. He gave us a telescope lens? I don't have a telescope, but that's still really sweet. Maybe our character does. I don't remember. Maybe when we were setting up our room, we put a telescope in it? I can't remember if we did that or not. I didn't look at the room beforehand. But that's still really sweet. Cove's mouth pulled into a beaming smile that reached his eyes. Chuckling, you took the gift. I'm glad you like it. Are you gonna accept the other part too? Did he... Oh, ice skating, right. I was really confused for a second. Yeah, I'll go ice skating with you. Cove bounced a bit on his toes and his feet as he leaned over to kiss you. It was light, but you could feel the smile pressing into you and every bit of happiness radiating off of him. Thanks for coming. I'll be in the car. You can go get ready. All right. You sped back inside and spotted your family still sitting around the table. They all turned to you and smiled. So, what's the plan for today? At that, you froze mid-step. Not a single word was coming to you, so instead of letting them watch your face grow redder, you bolted up the stairs. The soft sound of laughter followed you to your room. It didn't take you long to get ready and dash out the front door. Cove was waiting for you as promised, and you set your sights for the day for day 2 of his surprise outings, and the time it actually was a surprise. The item I'm after is a 20% chance to drop, and I still have not gotten after 9 tries. Oh man. Question besides Cove, would Derek and Baxter have Night Furies? Derek, I can imagine. I can imagine that. Baxter, not so much. I just can't imagine it for Baxter. I can't really imagine Baxter as like a dragon rider in general. I don't know. There's just something about him. I can't picture it. He'd have a Gronkle? I see. I could see that, actually. Now that you were sitting down for the drive, it felt like a good moment to regain your bearings. You shrugged your pack onto your lap and began thrumping through your things to make sure that in the hurry to leave, you hadn't forgotten anything important. Dressed warmly, yes. Absolutely. But in the meantime, you were left to sweat under the sweltering heat of the sun. Don't like the cold. I don't like the cold. Now that I've turned human, the cold sucks. You zipped it close again, and Cove began to speak, raising his voice to be heard over the ambient noise of the car ride. So, ice skating. This is gonna be crazy. Having fun with water that's frozen. Unheard of. He chuckled at his own joke, and you shook your head at him, though you couldn't help grinning at his silly comment. As you looked at him, you caught a glimpse of the back seat. It was empty, which wouldn't be strange any other day. You didn't bring a jacket? Nope. You know I hate extra layers, and there aren't any parents around to force me to do it now. Typical Californian behavior. I'll be fine. I don't need to bring a jacket. It's not gonna be that cold. Where do you think we live? Listen. It gets cold. The cold sucks. You're gonna be miserable. I like that you don't wear a lot of layers too. Okay. Okay. You're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it, man. The first one. Lol. You prepare yourself. Prepare yourself better. Wear a jacket. Wear layers. Take care of yourself. That's not the point. Why do you think it's called ice skating? I don't want you to freeze and ruin the experience for yourself. Cove's eyebrows knitted together as he began to pout. I'll be fine. He stayed firmly in his seat, showing no sign that he was going to change his mind. Skeptical as you were, you said nothing more on it. He'll learn. He'll learn. You know, he'll learn. You laid your arm against the window, the scenery outside passing by in a blur, until finally you arrived at the ice skating rink. The two of you grabbed your things and got out of the car. A wave of heat so thick it felt like you were swimming in it hit you as soon as you set foot onto the sun-hot asphalt of the parking lot. Cove fell in step next to you, dragging the back of his arms across his face. You and Cove exchanged looks. Well, here we are, his tilted smile seemed to say. The skating rink was a large building of glass and concrete, with its name plastered in simple white letters above its entrance. The nondescript flat rooftop style architecture reminded you a bit of the local mall. You went in. As the doors slid shut behind you, you heard Cove's sharp intake of breath. You glanced over him, seeing the stunned look on his face, his lips drawn tight in a frown. It's really cold in here. Yeah! Yeah, it's cold! What do you think I was warning you about? What are you gonna do if you keep scolding you, Cove? You gonna cry? He might. He's gonna freeze. It's cold. Wimp. The Cove bully squad is back. And we only have 2 Cove defenders today. Okay. Oh, wow, you dork. Of course it is. We'll change your name from Cove to Cold. Oh. Okay, we can be nice and say, are you gonna be okay? Or make fun of him for this. Who was the one that said, like, I'll be fine earlier on? What was that? What was that, Cove? What was that? Torque. All right. Mobster spoke first. What else did you expect from an ice skating rink? I don't know. I've only ever seen snow on TV. Brother. Don't bully him. Listen. In this case, I warned him. Cove had his bottom lip stuck out and his arms wrapped around himself as he whined impudently. How about you? How are you feeling? I'm feeling just fine. I wore layers. He was warned, he knew. He knew! There was no denying that the building was chilly, but it was a refreshing change compared to the sweltering heat of the parking lot. He laughed breathily. That's good. Your neighbor shuddered dramatically, almost retracting his head into his shirt in his newfound effort to keep warm. Tough luck for him! That's so mean! I'm gonna choose the top one before chat can make me bully him more. You took a step towards him and wrapped him up in what you hoped would eventually become a warm embrace. For a second, his body went even more rigid, but he quickly relaxed and gave you a self-conscious smile. And he eats ice cream. He does! Sorry, I have to go a minute to see my YouTuber crush. No, that's perfectly fine. Enjoy! Let's see, but he quickly relaxed and gave you a self-conscious smile.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rain. I'm happy to. His shy chuckle shook through his abdomen. You felt it on the side of your body right before he put his arm around your waist and pressed you closer, an unspoken sign that he had no problem with it. Like this, the two of you ambled over to the rental counter, together a slightly awkward process that had you unsure if you were going forward or sideways. Whose crush am I? What? That isn't Angie your crush. What do you mean by that? The clerk ended up giving you two funny looks over the top of her glasses as you went through the process of paying for admission and finding skates in your shoe sizes. But throughout it all, Cove didn't shiver once. Eventually, you had your skates. It was a particularly well-worn set. Still sturdy, but where it had once been blue, it was now faded, and where it had once been white, it was now closer to tan. With some time and a low bench, you both were set up in the rented shoes and now stood by the opening to the rink. It was an oblong shape, surrounded by paneled walls with rails. You were a little amused to see there were others dressed in t-shirts and shorts, and you turned to Cove to point it out. The answering laugh that came out sounded a little distracted. Okapi? Talking to Okapi? I think she's already gone. Well, here we go. Tentatively, he took one step out onto the ice. The series of movements that followed were reminiscent of a jack-in-the-box swinging back and forth on its spring. You thought you might laugh, but it died in your throat when, for one heart-lurching second, Cove's upper body tipped forward at a 90-degree angle. Memories are coming back to me of my own time doing ice skating. I used to love going ice skating, and I was really good at it as a kid, and then years went by, and then as an adult, I tried it again and fell flat on my face. That's how it works every time. His hand shot out, slapping against the ledge, running along the plexiglass panels on the side of the rink. A relieved sigh left both him and you. He was mumbling to himself as he craned his head back. He must have caught the alarm on your face because he gave you a smile as shaky as his footing. I'll make it work. But you've done it before without him. We have. You came forward to join him and... Well, as I was saying earlier... Haha. Not great, not good. With your hands splayed out against the railing, you searched Cove's face and found nothing but an understanding smile there. We'll both work on it? Yeah. It's kind of amazing you're seriously ice skating right now, but this is what we decided to do. I should stop being surprised over everything. Let's skate. Okay. The two of you developed a cautious rhythm, drawing long, slow circles around the edge of the rink side by side. Neither of you were experts. In fact, it was hard to tell who was worse. There were no complaints from either party when the pace was kept slow, or even stopped entirely whenever one of you needed to grab onto the edge again. Despite how ungraceful of a pair you were, it was fun. White puffs of air released from you and Cove as you laughed and cheered each other on for the smallest achievement. There were also still plenty of moments spent clinging onto each other for added warmth against the unrelenting chill of the space. The hours slid right past you, and just like that, it was suddenly time to call it a day. After returning the borrowed skates, Cove and you ventured back onto the California air. Even though the sun was almost behind the horizon, it was still palpably warmer than inside the rink. Cove rushed over to his car, his shivering hand clutched to yours. You let him pull you forward in his mad dash to the vehicle. Doors were opened and closed, seats were taken, the engine switched on, and heat turned on max. At that, Cove finally relaxed. Your foray into the freezing cold had ended, and nicely at that. Your crush is a YouTuber called Oliver Sad Eyes? Gotcha. Very cool, just found out that the... Does not return critical damage and I see. I see. Monster no, Angie is not my crush. Yeah, she got it. Back now? Welcome back. Cove gets all the girls. He has one. One officially. Cove has Rain and no one else. Ah, right. Cove has Okapi. I see. I got that wrong. Alright. Let's continue. The car ride home went by far too fast. You and Cove were in good spirits and spent the ride chatting and laughing, bouncing around various topics. But you didn't ask the question that sat all day in the back of your mind. Why was Cove doing all this in the first place? Again, you both parted ways for the night in the neighborhood street. You watched Cove head inside with a quick wave. You were halfway to your own house when a familiar voice called out to you. Turning on your heels, you spotted Mr. Holden. He lightly jogged over to talk. Hey, how are you? The beach is still warm. We'll warm them up. Yep. I'm good. Great. I was just getting home from work. What are you up to? Or rather, what were you up to today? Me and Cove went ice skating. You did, huh? Sounds fun. You nodded and smiled softly, but didn't have much else to add. It got quiet. Mr. Holden frowned. He rubbed the back of his neck and studied you for several silent moments. Right, so, Rain, what's going on here? Something is going on, isn't it? Huh? Wait, what makes you ask? Wow, what makes you ask? There's not a problem, right? I'll answer your question if you answer mine. Deal? Sighing, you nodded. Mr. Holden was probably the only person who could give you any solid insight to what Cove was doing. What's the story? The truth is, Cove's been doing a lot for me lately. Way more than usual. For 2 days in a row now, he's planned special dates and gifts too. I don't know why. Cove's father nodded contemplatively. He accepted the situation easily. That actually makes a lot of sense considering. Can we still talk about our life and how to train a dragon? Yeah, you can. Ask for 20. Ask for money again. Considering what? The words came out in a whisper despite how badly you wanted to know. You had no idea if he heard you or not. There was a pause. He was unsure of what to say next, or how to phrase it at least. Honestly, I've been the littlest bit worried about what Cove's up to lately. He's gotten really up in his head about something. But it's not exactly a bad thing. It's tough to know even how to bring it up. I'm not sure if I should try to have a talk about it. The longer he spoke, the wider your eyes grew with concern. There was more happening than a few meaningless hangouts. It's okay. He raised his hands in a calming motion when he noticed your reaction. Let me explain. I noticed Cove's been getting lost in thought more often recently, and he sometimes has his laptop out in the living room. He's taking you on a breakup tour! That would be quite the thing to do. 3 amazing dates to remember him before he runs away forever. My god. That would be... Wow. I don't even have words for that. He leaves it laying around on the couch or puts it on the coffee table. I have a clear view of it from there, and I can obviously see him looking stuff up on it. Cove keeps searching one phrase and different wordings of it too. Then he'll spend ages clicking through the linked results. The line is, how do you make someone happy? Just that again and again. Oh my gosh. Definitely should have asked for money. You had to consciously close your mouth after that. You didn't know what to even say after hearing that revelation. Mr. Holden gently beamed. Isn't he such a good kid? He continued, but his tone was rueful. Unfortunately, I can relate all too well to that conundrum. Who am I to judge, right? Mr. Holden shrugged in an exaggerated way to lighten the mood back up. Before I was thinking Cove might have gotten into a fight with someone. Now it sounds like I was way off the mark. Cove clearly has other plans on the brain. I'm even more confused on whether this is something I should get into or not. You know, actually, I was wondering if you could have a little chat with him about what's going on. It sounds like you're at the core of Cove's sudden study sessions, so he might feel more at ease talking about it, or more embarrassed, but he'd still probably do it. I would really appreciate it. Your gaze trailed over to the Holden residence. Mr. Holden made a very good point, you had to admit. You nodded. Thanks. You're also a really good kid. You shook your head with a smile and started walking towards where Cove went. After a few steps, you realized that Mr. Holden wasn't following. You glanced back at him. I'm gonna hang out here for a bit. Make sure you have some space to talk without a parent in the way. The door's probably unlocked, so go right in. Okay. But you hesitated for a moment. Mr. Holden's smile faded. Thanks for talking with me. This has been on my mind too, and I think it'll be good to ask Cove if everything's okay. Agreed. It'll all shake out in the end, I'm sure. Mr. Holden grew much happier than he was. Mr. Holden grew much happier than he was a moment ago. Feeling ready, you turned right around and went into the house. Okay. Looking at chat for a second. Well, Sunset Bird, Night Furies are considered guardians of the sea, but at this date, non-humans would get the chance to enter the Night Fury hidden world. Interesting. Too late. He already opened the door. But the people who live at Sunset Bird tell legends of the legendary dragons, and on those stories, they tell how the dragons protect and save people in Sunset Bird. That sounds interesting. Cliff wisely stayed out of the blast radius in case he attempts to meddle. Blown up again. It's true. It's true. He's always meddling. Hey, Cove was sitting on the couch with an aforementioned laptop open. He peeked up at you with a puzzled look, and then it melted into a smile. I thought you were my dad. Did you forget something? Let's see. Your father and I were actually talking a minute ago. That sounds like a disappointed parent. Of course I have to choose that. You pointed at the door behind you as you spoke. A silence stretched on uncomfortably, and slowly Cove's expression twisted in confusion. Okay. Why are you here? Hey, what are you searching about me? We need to talk about something. Okay. Cove closed his laptop and laid it on the couch cushion next to him. He got up, shuffled past the coffee table, and stopped right in front of you. He spoke in a hushed tone, only hearable because of the new closeness. Is everything alright? You tell me. I heard from your dad that you've been fixated on the idea of how to make someone happy. Why? Is anything wrong? He noticed that. Are you mad? No, I guess. I really was distracted. I didn't think people around would actually be paying attention or taking note of things. He chuckled awkwardly at himself. Cove, will you tell me why you felt like doing that so much? Cove looked at you with large, earnest eyes. I did it because I want you to be happy. Aww. Let's see. That's seriously it. You're killing me, Cove Holden. That's pretty funny. Let's see. You don't have to do something big or expensive. You know, I'm just happy with you. Cove started out another laugh, and the tension on his shoulders eased. Thank you for thinking that. For telling me? I don't know. He was completely frazzled on what to say. His rambling put a grin on your face. His gaze fell to the floor, and he defaulted to rubbing at his arm. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't see your reply, Momster. I wasn't trying to make you or Dad concerned. I didn't want to upset anyone. Sorry. It's okay. You meant it, but the words came out far too quiet. You tried speaking again. What happened to... wow. What was I saying? What was I trying to read there? Hold on. What happened to make you do it now?
I don't know.
With the deep frown, Cove looked back at you and repeated the phrase. Each time the inflection was different, like he intended to say something different, but was coming up with the same non-reply. I mean, it's not like you're in trouble. I mean, you're doing something nice for your girlfriend, so it's not like you're in trouble for it. At the time is with the MC, Sun Cloud is flying in the sea looking for fish to eat. Yeah. But like, you don't have to look sad, Cove. You're doing something nice for your girlfriend. I don't know. I don't know anything. He ran a hand through his hair, trying to understand his own motivations. I guess maybe with everything that's been happening and everything that's coming soon, it's just kind of hit me that we're neighbors. A quick snort of air came from your nose from his conclusion. Yeah? I mean, you've lived right across the street from me for 10 years. The only other kid who grew up in this whole neighborhood is your older sister. His smile went bent. And then there's our parents. They sure were putting in the effort for the two of us to get along with each other. My dad literally paid you to be my friend. Cove shook his head with a laugh. His gaze went far away as he nostalgically reflected on the history you had. Basically, everything in our lives was set up for us to be together. It was always effortless. And why not? It practically went without saying that we'd be around each other, but it won't be like that forever. Our parents can't always be there to arrange things. We can't live in the little world of our street forever. Do I even know how to make it work when I don't have every advantage possible? I've made you happy in the past, but could I keep doing it? What else is there? What else? Wow. What even is that if it doesn't make you happy? Cove started to run a hand through his hair again, but he stopped part way through. He looked at you earnestly. It was like breathing. When you're just going through life and you do what you're doing without even thinking. And then something reminds you that you're breathing, and you become way more conscious of it. Being with you is the same. I do what I normally do without pondering deeply on it, but now all the stuff made me start thinking about it. Then I couldn't stop thinking about it. I felt like I needed to try harder, to make an effort, for you, for the relationship we had. I had to, and well, that's what I did. He's assuming he's made you happy in the past. Hey now, he has made us happy. Don't be mean. Cove scratched the back of his neck. He looked sheepish now. It seemed like such a good idea in my head. It made complete sense, but maybe it was dumb. Punch his arm. Always go for the rowdy answers. Hey! He reflexively held his arm where your knuckles hit. You cracked a smile, and it only grew as you felt emotion swelling in your chest. Stepping back, you took a deep breath. Cove shifted how he was standing and watched you bashfully. Well, what's cuter? What's cuter in this moment? I do like the first one a lot. I guess I'll go with that. An adoring smile grew on your face as you could see the words sink in. You hoped he understood the depths of your emotions. You make me happy every day. I care about you. I should be thanking you for everything you've done. Thank you. There was a pause where neither of you were certain who was going to speak next. Cove sniffled.
Wow.
Thank you, Rain. Thanks for always looking out for me. Even when I didn't even notice I was doing something worth checking in on. You're amazing. Oh, tell him he's precious. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I've been late on a lot of these things. Sorry. Someone has to do it. Cove narrowed his eyes to appear annoyed, but there was no amount of pretending that was going to extinguish the happy look on his face. Your mouth curled into a smirk. Cove chuckled. Now that everything was out in the open, his words were lighter. I gotta thank my dad. I can always count on him to be around. I have such good people in my life. He smiled softly. Cove withdrew a bit, looking shy. Can I still show up tomorrow and invite you on the last surprise outing? Your smile grew so big that you had a feeling that your face was likely going to hurt. I'd like that. Cove brightened hearing that from you. You couldn't think of anything better than seeing the earnest look in his eyes. He simply wanted to spend time having fun with you. I can't wait. Cove leaned over and kissed you easily. As your lips parted, you saw that his were curled into a smile. He wrapped his arms around you and tucked you in close. You're really nice. Your lips gladly met his once more. Cove smelled good, like a heady mixture of fresh citrus and sea breeze. You'd mutually ensnared each other with the kiss until, unwilling to let it end, until Cove abruptly glanced around as if he was seeing the location for the first time. He ducked his head, bashfully peering at you at the corner of his eyes. We're kind of in the middle of the living room. He mumbled the words, his grip on you tightening. My dad might come in soon, but, my room is right over there, so maybe we could go there if you wanted to. Huh. This is a bit of a change of pace. Usually he breaks into our room. Just be mindful of his bones. It's not happening. This is completely innocent. It's completely innocent. There is nothing naughty happening. Always go to the bedroom. All right, let's go. He smiled audibly by your answer, but he didn't take it back. All right. Cove's face was verging on crimson as he took your hand. His fingers trembled when they clutched yours. Smiling, you gripped his hand tightly. Together, you hurried down the hall to his room. You were the one who opened the door as you both pushed through as one. Cove smoothly closed the door after him, using the heel of his foot, not allowing his hand or attention to be diverted from you even for a moment. He took you in his arms fully, holding you close to his chest. You inhaled another waft of his invigorating fragrance as you stared into his open, eager eyes. Press X to doubt. It's innocent. It's completely innocent. It's, hold on. Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. It's completely innocent. Wait. There seems to be a little bit of a, misconnection. This is a completely innocent encounter that, that, is, not going to lead to where we think it is. All of this, all of this that you see is very, very, very safe for work and very, very innocent. You see, we're very innocently, you're gonna see what you choose and how you justify it. I was gonna go with the first thing I saw, but if that's the case, oh god. You see, we're very innocently, innocently, we're innocently, gripping his hair because nothing is happening there, you see. We're just simply fixing it, because that is, just how good of a girlfriend we are, and that we're not doing anything at all that would be indecent. Moving a hand to his head, you coiled your fingers in his hair and solidly took hold of it. Ah. It's a very innocent noise he made, you see. In response, Cove reached out and laid a hand on the side of your face. The pad of his thumb softly circled around your cheek. Using your varying vantage points, you pulled closer together, your lips meeting in a kiss. Then you let your hand drift down lower. Huh. Oh, we're back here. Huh. And we're very innocently and family friendly. Complimenting him because we love our boyfriend so much in a safe for work way. Cause he's perfect. Yes, exactly. Okapi, he's perfect. He's perfect. No other words could describe him. Yep, that's what I was thinking. Cove sputtered while covering his face with the hand. From between his fingers, you caught his eyes closing as you spoke, your words of praise rendering him unable to look at you directly. But you could also see his smile spread wider in every syllable you uttered. You squeaked with delight, unable to construct a sentence over even from a single word. You grinned at his reaction. Oh, huh. Well, you see, we very innocently and, with no other intention, we, push him down because it's time for him to go to bed. And, you know, it's really late. He needs it. So I think it's time we, tuck him in to bed because, we're just such a good girlfriend like that. And we care about our boyfriend. Taking his shirt in your fists, one hand on his waist and the other on his chest, you pressed him over towards his bunk. Cove stumbled over his feet. It wasn't easy moving backwards as someone else set the pace, but he soldiered on. Once you judged that it was close enough to the bed for a soft landing, you opened your hand against his chest and toppled him over. He didn't resist, falling back into the bed with a gasp. What is a fish to do? Yeah, it's, you know, I'm just being a supportive fish girlfriend and pushing him into the bed so he goes to bed. It's time to sleep. It's time to sleep. You climbed on top of him because we need sleep too. The mattress gave gently under the pressure. Your knees sunk slightly onto the as you planted on either side of Cove's body. We're trying to find a good angle so we can fall asleep. Hold on, I'm sweating for some reason. No, this is completely innocent. This is a completely innocent thing. There's none of that here. There's none of that, chat. You're gonna look at this and it's gonna be completely, absolutely innocent. Cove's breath hitched, a much quieter sigh slipping from his mouth as the surprise gave way to realization as the position you were both in. He looked up into your face with nervous excitement. Oh, wow, this is still ongoing. All right. Well, we, have to give him his goodnight kiss, you know, because he likes to be kissed before going to bed. You know, goodnight kiss is natural. It's normal. It's normal. It's all normal. You sprinkled Cove's mouth with short kisses, always coming back for more. Cove responded in kind each time, aching for the touch. The tease of getting only a brief connection seemed to make him crave you even more. Crave to go to bed! His hands roamed up and down your back. It's just a massage. It's just a nice massage. memorizing the outline of your body. It spurred you on, the gap of time between each kiss shrinking until it was nearly as quick as the kisses themselves. Oh, I really, and then it felt like a good stopping point. It felt like a great stopping point. It's time to go to bed because this is an innocent thing. This is an innocent, game. We just went into the room innocently and nothing happened. Nothing, chat, nothing happened. What did I walk into? Nothing. I'm tucking my boyfriend into bed. That was it. You pulled back a fraction out of Cove's immediate, intoxicating orbit. Right now, you couldn't even face him. You didn't regret your actions one bit, but that didn't stop your face from burning up in retrospective. Embarrassment and pleasure. Pleasure that we, were able to make our boyfriend happy by tucking him into bed. I'm telling your mom, no, wait, nothing happened. It was innocent, I swear. Cove brushed his hand lightly against your cheek, the backs of his fingers accommodating each curve and turn. He was smiling. You could only beam back. A warm feeling took hold from knowing that you both felt good. Just like that, he dispelled your nerves. Not my mom! Don't do that. Don't tell my mommy. Don't do it, please. Don't break the sacred sleepover rules. Exactly. But you still had Cove pinned to the bed beneath you. Because we're tucking him in. As nice as that was, it was too tempting to lean back in and get started all over again. So you picked yourself up and took a seat on the edge of the bed. Yep, because we're done giving him a kiss goodnight and tucking him in, so we don't need to do this anymore. They felt like 2 bags of sand. Cove pulled himself to sit upright next to you. He seemed just as in the need of a minute to collect himself. The two of you waited there quietly for a time. The only sound, your gradually slowing breath. It's weird that you get back up, Cove, after I tucked you into bed. Don't you want to sleep now? You really should go to sleep. He's safe now, good. He cleared his throat, trying to regain some control over the situation. I wish you could stay, but it's getting late. You need to head home and get some rest. You looked at him, attempting to feign an innocent expression. I mean, what if something just happened to happen tomorrow? You had to laugh. Cove cracked a smile, acknowledging his poor attempt at subterfuge. How about I walk you back? You shook your head, laying a hand on Cove's as if holding him in place. Yeah, Cove. We tucked you in, so this was a perfectly innocent exchange with nothing happening. It's alright. You're already home. You can stay. Then let me walk you to the door, at least. Alright. You silently headed back to the living room together, comfortably with each other's presence. You stopped by the front door. Good night, Rain. His voice was soft like a comforter. You just wanted to wrap around yourself forever, but Cove was right. You had to go for today. Good night, Cove. With that, you opened the door and stepped outside. When you walked out into the street, you noticed that Mr. Holden was still standing out there. Mr. Holden! Mr. Holden! You don't know what you've left us to. Oh, you trashed your favorite gun? I'm sorry to hear that. We worked so hard to tuck him in. I know. We worked so hard, but boys can be stubborn like that, you know? Oh, man. He looked up at the sound of the door closing behind you, his phone in hand, and smiled as he sized up the situation. What is he sizing up?
Oh?
You were in there for a while. I hope that's good news. Very good news. Very good news, Mr. Holden. Unrelated. I'm gonna run to my room now. Good God, he could have walked in at any moment while you were tucking him. Yep, but he waited. He waited outside. He was like, I'm gonna give them time. Everything is fantastic. Great, glad to hear it. Everything truly resolved. You exchange goodnight wishes with Mr. Holden before continuing the very brief trip home. Not wishing to disturb anyone, you quietly snuck inside and gently pushed the door closed behind you. As it clicked into place with a minimum of fuss, you let out a sigh. Your mind buzzed as you climbed the stairs to your room. Cove had done so much just to make you happy, and you knew he'd be back tomorrow with another big surprise. Okay. So, this is where the story can take a dramatic turn, depending on what we do. So, we can either... Angie, I'm sorry if I repeat this, but Suncloud Cove's night was in danger, but... Yeah, I read that. You're good. So things are going to take a dramatic twist here. We can either let Cove do his surprise, or we can reverse Uno card him and do something ourselves, like do a surprise for him, or we can just like prepare a gift for him. Surprises aren't good enough. Take over his day plans. All right. We have decided. Okay, so that is... you were gonna... Let's see, do we do a gift for him too? Yeah, let's do that. I am Dave now. Gotcha. Hi, Dave, welcome in. Yeah, we'll make him a treat too, don't worry. Let him do his surprise. You were a little late there, Tarnished. Space beat you. Cove had brought you 2 gifts already, and odds are a third was coming. It was time to turn the tables and have something ready to give to him. At this hour, that was easier said than done. Most stores were long closed, and Cove would be here bright and early to surprise you tomorrow morning. That ruled out purchasing a gift, the way that he'd done for you. Luckily, you'd known Cove long enough to see a solution to his problem. Your neighbor was always a happy boy when he was given food. You were sure you could wrestle something fitting that description out in the kitchen one way or another. It was like, aw, I'm sorry. I commented before Space, but it took time to show up. Yeah, Space's comment showed up first. Space is also very quick. Her typing speed is insane. I'm walking through Walmart watching a fish romance. You are, in fact. Fish love stories. They're the best kind. Feeling invigorated, you spun around and sped back downstairs. It was time to put your plan into action. I am amazing at baking. Not so much at cooking, but I'm amazing at baking. I'm good with baking. So there's not really a way to say that. So I'll just say I'm amazing. I'm great. Only sometimes make embarrassing typos in the process. True, but not as noticeable when it's you for some reason. You sized up your options. With an early start, you'd be able to pull together something in the morning. If you wanted to go for something more elaborate and time-consuming, you'd need to do it right now. Oh, whoops. What did that say? There was also the option of rallying the troops. Your moms knew how to cook wonderfully, and you could easily persuade them to give you a hand in this. Alright, do we recruit the moms for help? Do team moms help us, or are we just doing this ourselves? Must be cool to walk around with, with a desperate fish. Because the characters were almost... wait a second. No, that's not what happened. It was an innocent thing. It was an innocent thing that happened. Moms it is. It was for the best. Ooh, cinnamon rolls. I have to go with that. Like, I already say no to the middle option, and fudge is okay, but cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon desserts are the best, man. I love them so much. I would be surprised if you were not after Bonnie's endless baking mode. Oh my god. That was quite the experience. Even as a grumpy little boy who had just moved in, cinnamon, sugar, and frosting had brought a smile to his face. He was going to light up with childlike glee when he saw what you had planned. You located your moms in their room on the ground floor and explained your plight. You got a fair amount of ribbing, but they agreed to give you a hand. I imagine the scene with the lion music to be specific, the King of the Pride rock score. Ooh, that's a nice one. Do you need to go find ingredients? Hopefully we have them. Alright. Ma even had a recipe she swore by that you could use. She flicked through an old cookbook, full of clippings and swapped recipes, scribbling on note paper, and set to directing you and Mom like a real chef. You made the dough quickly, knowing it would need time to rise before it would be ready to roll out and let you continue the recipe. You strapped the dough into a bowl with cling film, hoping that the yeast would do its job. You needn't have worried. An hour later and the dough had doubled in size, just as promised. You continued with the recipe, rolling out the dough, layering it with the cinnamon sugar, filling that Cove loved so much, and readied the rolls for the oven. Ah, looks good. Looks so good. That Bonnie's Bakery reference went over. No, it didn't go over my head. I got the reference. Do I need to find ingredients? I hope not. Soon the kitchen was full of sweet smells as heat joined the ingredients into one. I was gonna say, like, I wouldn't need those ingredients for sweets, but then again, she had a lot of sweets that she was using because of the fat. So... At the same time that the MC is having a flashback of 8-year... Suncloud, Cove's Night Fury, is having a flashback of his friend at 8-year-olds having fun at the beach. Aww. Alright. Soon the kitchen was full of sweet smells as heat joined the ingredients into one. As you waited for the timer, your mind continuously drifted back to younger days. You recalled the chatter of tourists and seagulls on the busy shopping street that had felt so vast when you were a child. Eventually, a beeping brought you back to the present. The rolls, luckily, came out fluffy and golden, naked without their white frosting coats. You'd whipped that up while they were baking, but you had to fight the urge to ice them right away. Until they'd cooled, any frosting you put on them would melt right away. Once you were satisfied that they'd cooled down, you topped them with a sufficiently thick layer of frosting. The teasing from your mom sprinkled into the process was merciless. They had no idea why you urgently needed to cook for Cove, but it may as well have been the funniest thing they ever heard. Still, the gift needed to be just right, so you endured their good-natured jokes. While it was over, they patted you on the back. You dusted off your hands, satisfied with the job well done. With your mission accomplished, you headed back up to your room. You took the steps lightly, feeling buoyed as you imagined how happy Cove would be with your unexpected gift. Cove's plans were extremely thoughtful, just like him, but you couldn't let him be the only one concocting schemes. With his attention diverted on his own surprise, it was the perfect opportunity for one of your own. He'd never see it coming. I wish I could tag you into a video that I had seen. It was about the Slay the Princess game. Oh, I actually have that planned soon. That's gonna be one of the next games we play after a few series. You know, I have a few series on the channel right now that I'm trying to finish. But Slay the Princess is one of the ones that I'm planning on playing pretty soon. Alright. That didn't mean that thinking up something was going to be easy. You wouldn't want to do anything that might risk making him uncomfortable or a random activity just for the sake of doing something new. It needed to be something he'd actually want to do. You thought about Cove. The obvious destination was the beach. He never got tired of the sea, no matter how many hours he spent with it. And while there were many beaches in California, and you knew he'd be happy with any of them, a trip to a shore wouldn't quite cut it this time. After all, you'd both still inevitably wind up doing the same things you always loved to do at the beach, and time would pass in much the same way as it would as if you were still in your hometown. You wanted this plan to be something special. Luckily, as much as Cove associated himself with the ocean, you were one of the few people who knew that there was another, quite different type of location that he treasured. Wow, my voice. Ugh. 1 second. I'm afraid of watching your stream because every time I look away from my TV, a big scorpion kills my character. Oh no! Let's see. Surprising him with a trip to somewhere with that element was absolutely the kind of moment he'd cherish forever. Pulling up a browser on your phone, you search for the phrase Sunset Bird, White Poppy Field. Smiling to yourself, you settled down and began the hunt for the perfect spot. Cove was working so hard to make you happy, you dearly wanted your partner to be happy too. You could only hope your efforts would work as well for him as the plans were working for you. You were up early the next day, ready and waiting for Cove's inevitable appearance. Your ears were perked, listening for the doorbell, but instead, what you heard was a familiar rapping on the window pane. He got tired of us, like, making fun of him for using the door. Hello, welcome in. There was no need to look to know who it was. Only one visitor used your window as his personal entranceway. Getting up, you headed over to it. You gazed into your neighbor's face as you unfastened the window, opening it wide. He smiled at you, still crouched at the window ledge. Surprise? Cove's laugh was an airy as the cotton candy sold at the boardwalk. He was in good spirits. Yeah, surprise. I'm really keeping you on your toes. What will I do next? He waggled his eyebrows at the joke as you stepped back to let him enter the room. Today, he clambered through with extra difficulty, thanks to the object he was clutching securely. You guessed it was another gift. So what did you bring this time? You teased him, continuing the joke he'd begun. Cove smiled bashfully, glancing down at the item in his hands before holding it out to you. His eyes were trained on you, searching for your emotion on it. I hope you like it. Let's see. Well, we were having a perfectly innocent time earlier, so it only makes sense to continue having this perfectly innocent, safe for work time, by simply smiling at him. 'Cause that's it. That's all we need to do. Cove smiled back, cheered by your response. I definitely like it. He chuckled self-consciously as he gave a long look at the meaningful gift he had selected. It was as if it was growing heavier in his hands. I really do support your goals. I just want you to know that. I do. Oh. Wait. Momster said kiss. I'm sorry. I didn't read that in time. Sorry. There was a whole, like, start crying. There was a kiss the boy. Man, I missed everything. I'm sorry. I didn't think anyone was typing. Oh man, she's talking to a boy. No, don't tell my mom. Don't tell my mom. That's low, man. That's so low. Then you accepted the thoughtful present into your grasp. I think you could actually call my mom's in this point, and I get in a lot of trouble because he broke in through the window. Mom, she's becoming lax at her duties. No, don't tell her. Please, have mercy on me. In her bedroom. No, hold on. Only once he transferred ownership and cemented it with your approval did Cove straighten up and pull himself together. Okay, well, would it be alright for me to take you out today? We could, I don't know, go to a theater? He smirked, already anticipating that you'd say yes. You smiled to yourself, wondering how to break your counter-surprise to Cove. Just that, nope, I'm doing that. They're gonna make you eat your veggies. No, not that! Anything but that! I'm a carnivore, don't do this to me! Alright. Is that? Nope, I'm doing that. Uh-huh. A beat passed as if Cove was waiting for a punchline that didn't come. He tilted his head, nonplussed by your declaration. There's somewhere else I'd like to go today. Would you come with me? Must eat veggies. Bounced. It's so important. No! No, don't do this! I'm used to only eating fish my entire life! His mouth hung open and the rest of what he was trying to say disappeared into the air. The shock hadn't even started to wear off, but he found one more word. Okay. You were thrilled to have him on board. Now the two of you could focus on putting the plan into action. The first part is already here. You can have it now. What? Really? It was amazing how surprised he was. Cove had spent 3 days raining gifts and special trips on you, but he hadn't at all counted on you doing something in return. What is it? Stay here for a second and I'll show you. Okay. He watched you expectantly as you turned around to head downstairs. You reached where the cinnamon rolls were, waiting, and collected the prize. As you flipped back around to your room, gift in hand, there was a smile played across your face. Cove was patiently waiting where you'd left him, tapping his fingers against the side of his pants. Surprise! He looked curiously, barely believing that you'd gone to the effort to select a present for him on such short notice. You handed the gift over for his inspection. His eyes widened as he saw the treat. I thought about what you'd like and, well, I made you this. Also, my mom's did help too. Oh. He blinked, the present totally taking him by surprise, but his eyes were alight with glee. She forgot he needs gluten-free. Does he need gluten-free? I don't remember that. You've made me cinnamon rolls. I love them, though I don't get them a lot. They're not the kind of thing we normally have around. He glanced up at you shyly. I can't believe you still remembered. It's amazing. You chuckled, recalling these moments long ago that you spent together. How could you not remember days with a guy like him? The sentimental air was quickly dispersed as he scooped up a cinnamon bun and gracelessly squished half of it into his mouth. Ah, yes, Cove is a Neanderthal once again. Is it alright? Cove kept chewing, gesturing apologetically to his occupied mouth. Finally, after what felt like an age, he swallowed. It's so good, the best I've ever had. Cove wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, now a lot calmer after the initial burst of excitement. His feelings instead settled into an easy, warm affection.
It's nice.
Thank you for this. It's so nice of you. You're welcome. That don't choke option was pretty funny too, but I can go with this. His features softened, and you felt like you were being thoroughly appreciated. The food you gave was also getting its due attention. He'd already gone in for a second serving. You couldn't blame his indulgence. That said, the amount you'd given him was enough for several servings, far more than even Cove could finish off at once. You made sure of it. But as he continued to devour it, you were starting to suspect that polishing it all off was the goal. In spite of the generous portion, he was willing to try and eat it all in order to show you how much he liked the present. It's okay to save some for later. I don't mind. You could tell he wanted to show how taken he was with the gift, but you'd not presented it to him as a challenge to overcome. Cove finished his current bite and let out a satisfied sigh. Alright, I'll stop for now. But there's other stuff to do, and I can have more later. You smiled at him, relieved that your gift could be enjoyed and not inhaled. But once Cove had consumed as much as he could manage for the time being, you packed the rest back for later. It was time to direct him to the next part of the surprise. I'll drive this time. He accepted easily, going along with your mystery plan without resistance. That was a relief. He was definitely curious, and you weren't going to let his hopes down. No time was wasted as you left your house immediately after establishing the new surprise plan. You hurried onto the street and practically jumped into the car. Cove tottering behind at your heels like a faithful hound. Your excitement was obviously rubbing off on him. Actually, Cove is an eating contest. If you don't scarf the whole box down in the next 10 minutes, we will take this as a sign that the love you once had for Rain in your heart has faded. That's right. Better eat fast, Cove. You drove with purpose, your mind solely on the destination. Not even Cove's puppy dog eyes could distract you from your goal or implore you to spill the secret of where you were headed. When you finally came to a stop, it was in a parking lot at the middle of nowhere. You confidently unclipped your seatbelt while Cove looked around bemused. Here we are? He looked at you for confirmation. You were happy to provide it. We're here. At that, the two of you got out of the car. Cove turned to you, evidently still baffled but optimistic for what could be coming.
So?
What now? Cover your eyes and I'll lead you into that direction. Whatever you say, Rain. He obliged by your orders as he got into place. You appreciated how easily he was playing along. Cove clutched his hands tightly against his eyes, his fingers clamped together so closely not even a speck of light could pass through. He was taking this very seriously. He let you direct him along the way, obediently following your instructions. Eventually, you'd reach the edge of the parking lot. The crunch of gravel underfoot came to an end, replaced by a dirt path. You saw a flicker of recognition on Cove's face as the terrain changed, but he didn't question where you were headed. You simply continued to make your way forward together as best as you could. The dirt made way to grass. You spotted a lonely white flower. It was the first you were sure of many to come. Like floral signposts, they popped up infrequently as you kept moving, determined to bring Cove to the destination you'd uncovered online. Your body was thrumming with emotion now that you were getting closer to your goal. The nerves continued to build as you got closer and closer until it came into view at last. All your anxieties were swept away by a wave of delight. It was perfect. You positioned yourself behind Cove so that the full reveal would be the first thing he saw, completely unobstructed. Taking a deep breath, you prepared for the culmination of your surprise. You can look now. Not wanting to wait a moment longer, Cove dropped his hands from his face. Spanning in front of the two of you was a wide open field, densely carpeted with white poppies in full bloom. 1 second. I got a text message, so I was just looking for a second. Every now and then I get worried about those text messages because I've had it happen where my stream, like something happened in my stream and people contacted me through text message in order to tell me something was wrong. So I always look now. Hundreds upon hundreds of soft petals lightly bobbed in the comfortable breeze, as if waving to welcome you both. Cove had frozen in place. His jaw was slack, hanging open in amazement, as though he couldn't quite believe what he was seeing. You couldn't blame him. The dissonance between the unamusing parking lot, mundane and man-made, to the bounty of nature which you'd brought him to, was startling in itself. And other than the hill behind your house, you'd not encountered this flower in the wild. From Cove's perspective, to suddenly be greeted by a natural paradise tailored to him right down to his favorite flower might have been something he'd normally only get in dreams. Has my sprite disappeared? Oh no! Oh no! Except I see the YouTube screen and I can tell it's fine. You can't trick me like that just yet. Just a mild panic, you know, just a little bit. We'll hold his arm. Cove blinked slowly and repeatedly as he took in the expanse of flora laid before him. Tears began to form, clutching to his eyelashes and clumping them together. Aw, he's crying again. He lifted his gaping mouth into a wobbly, open-mouthed smile that teetered between joy and disbelief. Oh my... He was too choked up to string in the three simple, familiar words together. You'd left him speechless. Cove turned to face you directly. Beaming, he leaned forward to kiss you. You were glad to return the kiss, pressed into him, and wrapped your arms around his neck to keep him close. He might not yet have been able to put his feelings into words, but you could feel his joy and gratitude all the same. When you parted, Cove still wore that brilliant smile. Your hand lifted up to his face to caress his cheek. Finally, Cove regained some of his composure. He opened his mouth to attempt speech once more. See, are you really so confused why I want to do so much for you when you go and... Welp, I tried. You did! To finish the thought, he waved a hand to the beautiful field you had found just for him. His voice, which had been bright, dimmed to a soft murmur when he followed up on a question. Nobody else in the entire world would do this for me. Nobody. And no one makes me feel the way you do. His words were as faint as the rustling of the poppy petals in the wind. Some of the tears had escaped from his lashes down to his cheeks, the damp skin glittering in the sunlight. You reached out to hold his face once more and stroked them away. I'm glad to do it for you. You meant every word. So, can we look at the flowers together? Yes, obviously. No, I'm just here to show you the flowers and then we're gonna leave. Yes, we're looking at the flowers together. His voice was still soft, as though speaking too loudly might shatter the magic. I'd be happy to. He giggled in a tiny, giddy way at that. Imagine if Suncloud, Cove's Night Fury goes to the Poppy Hills and look at the flowers with his human friend. Yeah! Of course, we'd be there too, so the Night Fury would have to be okay with us too.
Rain.
Thanks, Rain. Carefully, so as to disturb the natural peace as little as possible, you and Cove began to make your way through the field of flowers. Now that you'd reached the destination, there was nothing to hide. You could finally walk side by side once more, his hand in yours, eyes wide open to what was ahead. You really cherished taking this journey as partners. With the conclusion of Cove's big plans, and yours, you might have expected to feel a little wistful. It had been an exciting few days, but there was no need to yearn for what had gone. After all, you knew that the two of you would always find new ways to bring a smile to the other's face. It's what both of you did, and you were looking forward to the new surprises already. And that is the end of happiness, but also the end of all of the moments in step 3. After this, we only have the epilogue left. And then it's just going to be the DLC and the rest of the epilogues. It's really hard to admit that this game is almost over. We're almost through the entire thing. This is the longest running series on my channel. No, nothing like that, Tarnished. This is a Christian channel. This is family friendly. We were obviously just tucking him into bed. There was nothing unsafe about that. Obviously. Okay. But yeah, it's hard to believe that this game will be ending soon. This was the first stream I've ever done, and it's, it's the longest running series on my channel. It's gonna be hard to say goodbye to it, but I do have other things that I will play after this. I have other stuff for book club, so we'll get to them. I'm looking forward to some. We have some horror visual novels along the way, and we have some other romance ones. My voice is breaking. I'm sorry about that. I did tell you guys I'm a little sick today. My allergies are really bad. But hopefully that will be better. On Wednesday, we're going to be playing more Lobotomy Corporation, so get ready for that. There might be a few surprise streams here and there, so keep your eyes open on my Twitter for any announcements. And other than that, I think it's time to end this episode. So, there's still the second game. There is the second game, but the second game is not finished, so I was going to let it get a little more finished before we played it. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap between when we finish this game and play the second game. But like I said, there's a lot more visual novels for book club. I have some horror ones up, some other romance ones, some slaying a princess might be involved there. We'll see. All right. It's been fun, guys. I will see you in the next episode. See you on Wednesday if you want to see Lobotomy Corp, or Friday, or Saturday for Hollow Knights, or join me again for book club on the next Monday. And I will see you guys later. Like always, love you lots, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye!